Have you ever been on a Caribbean cruise and been overwhelmed by the kinds of activities that you might go on? Have you ever looked at the list of the shore excursions that a ship might offer and you go, oh man, swimming with stingrays, I don't know if I really want to do. Oh, I did that once before, that's right. Well, as older travelers, we have a lot of experience and we want to make the most of our time. But honestly, some of these things, really aren't worth it when you're going on a Caribbean cruise. So what I'm going to do today is we recently returned from our own 21-day Caribbean cruise. And what I'm going to do is go over 10 of the ports that we called on and give you just one or two things that you can do there. And, you'll just have a wonderful time. So stick around. Let's get to it. So the lovely Tanya and I are here at Half Moon Cay, which is our first stop here in the Bahamas, actually our only stop in the Bahamas. In this particular stop, you're not going to get a lot of cultural immersion, but it's a fun stop for a lot of people. There's a beautiful beach here, and they do have some water activities, and you can go horseback riding in the surf, that sort of thing. And there are, of course, a number of shops here. This particular island is owned by Carnival Corporation, so their ships come in here. We're the only ship right now, but there will be another ship coming in, a Carnival one, just a little bit later. That will, for a short period of time here, there'll be about 6,000 cruisers on this little strip of land. Here's one of the locals here, just kind of coming up here. And I was talking about cultural immersion. Ma'am, can I talk to you for a second?
I'm too busy dancing.
She's too busy dancing, but do you live here on the island?
I was born here. Yes.
You were born here?
Yes,
Yeah.
original.
You're original or an aboriginal?
That too.
Yeah, and
Very
abnormal, AB normal, yeah. And you just kind of hang out here dancing? Is that kind of your gig?
When the weather's good, gotta do it.
Yeah. And do you greet the tourists and cruisers as they come in?
I'm too busy dancing.
Too busy, you're just kind of in your own little world.
Exactly.
Yeah, and how many drugs have you taken so far today?
So how much have I smoked?
Okay, a little ganja?
Ganja.
Yeah. Hang loose, man. Okay. Well, that was great, interviewing one of the locals here. I think she's having just a fabulous time. Let's go take a look and see what else is going on in this sort of artificial man-made heaven. Well, Tanya, how was that? Brisk and bracing. Yeah. When you dock at King's Wharf here in Bermuda, you'll be right next to the Navy dockyard, and which are it was the headquarters for the British Navy, of course, when they were here, and now it's been turned into lots of shops and artisan galleries and things like that. There's a pottery place over there. So if one wanted to, you could spend your entire time here in Bermuda just going around the naval dockyard and going around the mall and looking at all the old buildings and such. Well, we figured out where to get bus tickets, and inside the mall there they were $4.50 each way into Hamilton and back, so it was $18 for the two of us. So now we're just kind of waiting in this long line to see if we can get a public bus into Hamilton. They also have a ferry, and so the tokens that you get are good for both the ferry and the bus. So we'll kind of figure that out when we get to Hamilton and see what we want to do. This bus else came. So we opted for the ferry, which should leave in about another 10 minutes. And it's they say about a 30-minute ride over to Hamilton, the capital of Bermuda. One thing that you'll notice if you go into Hamilton, everyone seems to know everybody. It's not a very big town, but everybody, people were walking on the street and they're saying hello to everybody that they see in a car, and people are, hey, how are you? How are you? It's really a good feeling. And people here are, despite all the thousands of tourists that come in here, they're very nice and very hospitable.
And they all thank the bus driver when they got off.
Yeah. All the local people and did that, so it was just a great time. Okay, so here is the final thing. If you're coming to Bermuda on a cruise ship, unless you're on some kind of a shore excursion that's already been planned, or you're going to do one on your own that's an island tour or snorkeling or something like that, what you're going to do is the ships no longer go, or at least I don't think, no longer go right into Hamilton. That's the way it was when we came once before. We were on a smaller ship. But instead they go out here to King's Wharf where these big ships are. And they've made this naval dockyard a destination in itself. So if that's as far as you want to go, that's great. There's a lot of walking around. You can do tons of shops and restaurants and that sort of thing. Well, Tanya, we've arrived in Grand Turk in the Turks and Caicos. And we are here with another large ship, and so there are about 6,000 of us here, of our closest friends. You can see some of the happy tourists up here getting ready to partake in the day's activities. Our mission today is to go on a snorkeling trip. Adventure. It is raining cats and dogs.
Kind of windy.
And a little windy. But, there were some pretty fish there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of our fellows are still out here. Everybody's having a good time, obviously. Let's check it out over here. Oh, yeah, there we are. I don't know if you can tell how much it's raining here, but it's really coming down. But there were a lot of pretty fish, weren't there, Tanya?
Oh, and the coral.
And coral, yeah. So this is one of the things you can do when you come to Grand Turk is go out on a snorkeling trip.
And it was fun. The sun's not shining, so
No.
the colors don't shine or don't show as much. But
Yeah.
they're still there.
But it was still,
They make you want to laugh. It's
Yeah.
so fun.
rain or shine, you can have a good laugh.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, the lovely Tanya and I are in our next port of call here, Willemstad, Curacao. One thing about Curacao is that it is so neat and tidy and sort of quasi-Dutch. Look at this. We're coming up on the city market right now, but there's not a lot of activity, as you can see, because it is a Sunday. So there is place for tons of other stalls. And so if you were here at another time of the week, there are probably lots of things that you could choose from. Walking through the streets of Willemstad on a Sunday, it's pretty darn quiet. But this place is obviously geared for lots of shopping. Well, good morning, travel fans. We are here in Oranjestad, Aruba, Jamaica. Oh, I want to take you. You get it. Anyway, we have scored ourselves a couple of day passes on the Aruba bus. And these are $10 each for all day, $10 US. And Tanya and I are going to wander around the island via public bus. So we're going to get a little bit of local culture, see what things are all about. Our first mission is going to a fabric store. Now, the other ways of getting around Aruba, of course, there are taxis all over the place. And apparently, they're not metered, but apparently they're on a fixed chart as to, based on where they're going. And generally, it's going to be, from what I understand, anywhere between $35 to $50 per cab, depending on where you're going. If you're going to some more remote areas, now it's not a very big island, so it can't be that remote, but if you're going to some place where taxis don't normally go, of course, make sure that you ask your taxi driver to come pick you up when you're through. Other ways, of course, to get around are the tours that are offered, and those many times will be a taxi driver that will take you around, and they're generally about, from what we understand, about $50 per hour. So, not knowing exactly what we want to see and being the independent and savvy older travelers that we are, is why we opted for the local bus. Well, we have all day here. It's morning on a Monday, and the ship doesn't leave till 10:30 or something like that, so we can't get too lost, and the buses go all day long. So our fabric shopping venture was successful. Tanya picked up some fabric, and then we got back on another bus, went back into town, took another bus right away, and we're out here in the hotel area along the beach, and it is absolutely beautiful. We stopped in here. We're at the Ritz-Carlton, stopped in for a drink, and now we're looking out at the grounds here and the absolutely beautiful water and beach. And if you're coming to Aruba and you're not on a ship, I think what you should do, or most likely will do, is stay at one of the many resort hotels out here. There are, all of the major brands are here. Ritz-Carlton. I didn't see a Four Seasons, although there might be. But, there's Hilton, there's Courtyard by Marriott, there's Radisson, there's a Holiday Inn resort. Virtually every major chain is represented here. I have no idea what the prices are because I haven't checked. But this would be the place to go if you wanted to come down to Aruba, hang out by the beach. There's people out there parasailing, just having a grand time. So this would be the place. Tanya, where are we this morning?
We are at St. George, Grenada. St. George. Beautiful.
Why is it called Grenada instead of Granada? I don't know, but that's the way they say it. If you say Granada, they know that's a place in Spain. It's not here. Anyway, it's a beautiful morning here at our latest port. Well, Tanya and I are in Grenada at the spice market, and we were very lucky to run into royalty here. We have here the Spice Princess. I don't know what's your real name?
Hi, my name is Enyasha James, but everybody calls me Spice Queen or Spice Princess.
Okay, and she got me really well set up, and she has all of these different spices and oils and things.
All fresh for you.
All fresh for me. And do you remember, what did I buy? I already have it here now.
Some smoked paprika.
Oh yes, smoked paprika,
which is very good.
Yep.
You tried some of the jerk spice, and
yep.
I make this myself.
Okay. Let's see.
And
And
you
I
had
got
some of the cumin seeds.
Right, and I got some of the cumin seeds. Anyway, I got
And you also tried our chili flake oil.
yes, which the princess
I
assures
made
me.
again for myself.
She made for herself, and she assures me that if I put this on some of the chicken or whatever I get on
It'll
the
be
cruise
very
ship,
good.
yeah, and I'll be the envy of everybody around me.
Yes.
So let me just tell you that if you are on a cruise ship and you're coming to Grenada, come to the spice market, which is right sort of in the middle of town.
Yes.
And look for
The Spice Princess.
the spice princess. You can't miss her
At all.
You come into this building, she's usually holding court. As
Yes.
you come in, she has her tiara on, and she will take care of you. So I think all of these spices that I got, I must have gotten 10. or
Yes,
so.
you did a good bit of spices.
Yeah, and was only 26 US dollars. So
Yes, we give bargains here also.
yeah. It must have been. She must have given me a special bargain because I have such a nice smile.
Oh yes, all of that encouraged the bargain.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, that's it. That's the highlight here of Grenada.
Okay.
Well, Tanya girl, we are in Barbados. We're on a little bit of a tour here, and we're looking out at the Atlantic Ocean, and we're heading up toward the very north part of the island. And yeah, it's just quite
Lovely.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of elevation here, so it's much cooler than it is down in Bridgetown, which is the. So one would think that this would be probably pretty good surfing, not a really long ride, but some pretty good sized waves. But the problem is that there is a tremendous undertow apparently here, and so there's all these warnings all over the place. Don't surf here. You could die, all these terrible things, and there's monuments to people that has indeed happened. So, Tanya, I guess we won't be getting our boards out here today.
No, not today.
Not today. Well, good morning. We're here in beautiful Dominica. So, the lovely Tanya and I are on a hike right now in one of the national parks here in Dominica. This is the Mont Piton National Park, which means three mountain peaks, exactly. And it's very lush here. Dominica is very, very mountainous. It's a volcanic island, lots of green. It's very beautiful. And we took a little bus to get up here, up these very windy roads. The only downside that I can see right now so far is that occasionally they have hurricanes. The most recent one was Maria in 2017, and a lot of the island was without power for about 8 months or so. They had winds up to 185 miles an hour. Once again, we're here in another port of call. And Tanya, today we're here in St. Kitts. Beautiful St. Kitts. One little travel hint I was just thinking of that might appeal to some of our viewers is if you are on a cruise in the Caribbean, I suppose it could be anywhere, and like this one is a 21-day one, you know, after 2 weeks of it, you might start to get a little tired of the gourmet food that you have all the time. I mean, it's
I would say almost any cruise line you take, we're on Holland America, but there is no shortage of good food, and at practically any time of the day or night. But after a while you think, oh my God, prime rib again? Oh, we're gonna have New York again. Oh, is it lobster? I thought we just had that, that sort of thing. So what you can do when you come to these Caribbean islands is to scope out where they're selling hot sauce, or I bought a little bottle of hot oil the other day in Grenada, and with an eyedropper, don't use it in your eyes, and put it into your food, and it really spices up things. And the crew, of course, they don't eat the gourmet fare, and they think it gets kind of bland. So they really appreciate that you appreciate some hot food, and they're always ready to give advice and some suggestions. What you'll find in almost any of these Caribbean ports is the ubiquitous tourist shopping area just outside the cruise terminal. And many people never really get beyond this place. And you'll ask them, well, what did you do today? Well, we went outside for a little bit, and it's fine. It's very safe and comfortable, and they can find out. We'll go down over this way. Thank you very much. And of course, you've got the ubiquitous, I love that word, KFC, right here in the middle of Basse-Terre. Maybe it's Basse-Terre, not sure. He and I are enjoying a lovely Carib beer. What do you think of it, Tanya?
Well, I think it's good, especially at 10:30 in the morning.
I know, so you might as well get started. Well, hello, older travelers and young adventurers. The beautiful Tanya and I are here today in St. Martin, Phillipsburg, St. Martin. And sort of as a different approach, we're going to do something today that we've never done. We got a day pass, resort pass, at the Morgan Resort. And it's this hotel, and we're going to go in there and see what we can find and spend several hours there. We can hang out by the pool. The main attraction of this is that it is adjacent to the airport, which is right over here on the other side of this parking lot. And this is the famous Maho Beach, and this is where people wait for the airplanes to come in right over their heads. And there's a sign there that says, be careful of the backblast from the jets that could result in potential severe injury and or death. But we drove up there, and there are hundreds. There's a very small beach, but hundreds of people just sitting there on a barrier and on the rocks waiting for planes to come in. I don't know if anybody's looked at a schedule, but they're all just sort of sitting there. Well, we're going to see if we can see the planes come in, but we're going to do it from the luxury, I hope, of a...
The posh.
Yeah, they say it's posh push. We'll see. All right, so we can see over here, just to the side of that restaurant is the beach. And here comes a JetBlue that's coming in right over them. Well, there you go. Couldn't actually see it land because that tent was in the way. But it looks like a number of those people are still standing on the beach. So I am not sure how much of this is all hype and how much is reality.
Well, that's it for our 10 Caribbean ports in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope that gives you a little bit of idea of some things you can do if you're on a crazy adventure like this. We look forward to seeing you in our next video where we are off for some more exciting adventures. We're getting close to the end of the year right now, and so we've got some really fun things planned for at least the first half of 2025. So stay with us. Thank you so much. See you soon.